Hello everybody and welcome back to another Halo Flashpoint list building episode. And for this week's episode, I'm thinking we're going to try something a little bit different from what we did last week. Last week we did a Chief and Dare list, and today we're going to be taking a look at the other side of the game here, the Banished. Now I don't have nearly as much experience with the Banished as I do the UNSC, so this is going to be interesting. I haven't really played around with many of the brutes yet at all, so I'm really excited to try building a brute only very melee oriented list is kind of the goal here. And of course, we're gonna start it out with Atriox. We gotta go for the big one here. Obviously, he's gonna be our hardest hitter. He's gonna be our bulkiest model. So he's very much gonna be kind of the core of this list. So we're gonna go ahead and start things out just by putting him right in there. And yeah, of course, he's got some really effective melee weapons himself, but we are probably going to want to give him a ranged option. Although his range skill only being 5 means he's not that great for it, so we're probably leaning towards frag weapons for him. As for other brutes, I do want to lean very melee heavy with this. I'm thinking about throwing in the berserkers here. Probably one of each. We got they both have grenades, so they both have means of doing ranged attacks. Specifically, I do prefer the spike grenade, but I'm going to be building this box based on kind of the reasonable limits of of a collection, in that I don't have 2 of each one. I have 1 of each one. So we're going to be doing the one of each here. Even though I do prefer the spike grenade, in an ideal world, I'd probably do 2 of the spike grenade one, and I might pick up a second one at some point. So yeah, if you're trying to build this at home and you have access to 2 spike grenade ones, that's probably a little bit better. Frag is just so good. Frag is such a powerful keyword. It's kind of hard to go without it. That said, there is some advantage to having them mixed here. Having the Dynamo Grenade with that EMP can be really nice. Melee, I find one of the things that they are less effective at doing in Melee, just anyone, is dealing with shields. So having that EMP to be like, well, I'm going to knock your shields before I get in there, especially on some of those models with extra shields, whether they have Overshield or their Chief or something like that. Being able to kind of reduce that before you get into Melee is definitely meaningful. So something to kind of consider with that. So there is some value in the Dynamo Grenade. I just personally probably prefer the Spike Grenade there. The other nice thing here is these guys are all real cheap. So we're going to look at some of our weapon options, but there actually might be an opportunity to go back and add another model to this list. If we really want to. Like, we could turn around and throw in another warrior, for example, here. It makes us a little bit tighter in terms of weapons and stuff, though. So I think I'm going to lean towards sticking to 3 models for now and just making them as effective as possible. So one of the things I think is super important for the brutes is having access to better mobility. All of them are pretty slow, speed 1/2 and 1/3. So I'm thinking thrusters. Thrusters are kind of the way to go for me. Grapple shots exist, and I might add one of them so we have more options there. But having the thruster pack is just going to help them all get up to speed a little bit faster. Being able to charge 4 with these guys is going to feel really nice. Being able to charge 3 with Atriox will be quite nice as well. So yeah, I think honestly, I'm thinking 2 thrusters and a grapple shot. I think we want both. That just feels kind of necessary to me. As for a range weapon, I do want to squeeze something onto Atriox here. I don't think I want to give any weapons to the Berserkers here. They have their grenades, and I'm not really expecting them to live super long after that point. So I'm okay with them not having a backup range weapon. They can pick stuff up off the board. So for Atriox here, I really just want to make sure he has something that's either frag or rapid fire, preferably frag, I'm thinking. Although if I really need to save points, I could downgrade to something like a disruptor down the line, or if I have the spare points to add one in later for one of the other guys, then I absolutely will. So for Atriox, I mean, he really just needs to hit the cube that he's trying to hit. Something like a concussion rifle could be nice. It kind of gives him that good mix of ranges where, like, he's really slow, so having a range 5 blast or frag weapon gives him that ability to affect the board super far away from him. But then, of course, if you get close, here comes the hammer. So I do really like that idea, going for that longer range weapon with him. Alternatively, I could do what I did with Chief in the other list, go for the Hydra just because it's cheap, it's range 4, it's still really good. But I think in this case, I'm going to lean towards the concussion rifle, and we'll downgrade it if we're feeling like we're tight on points going forward. Because if we go ahead and save this, that is putting us up to 174 points. So we do have 26 points left to play with, which should be plenty, but we got to look at what we're doing for our special orders here. Okay, so by default, it's including the Alliance Special Order. It is only 2 points, so I am tempted to keep it, but I think the best use of this, honestly, is on the Elites. because they have speed 2, so Alliance can allow them to basically effectively sprint speed 4, and that is very much a thing. But with the brutes, I find that's a little less relevant. I mean, technically, I guess it allows them to shoot twice, but most of them were not outfitting with weapons. For Atriox, that could be nice, giving him the ability to shoot twice, but then he's really not moving. So we'll keep it on there for now, but if we're tight on points, it's definitely something I'm okay with removing. That said, Defiance and Rampage are absolutely things that I think we need to have here. Being knocked down is going to be a problem for these Berserkers, so we want them to be able to stand up. That's going to be a thing. And then Rampage here being, very, very good for these guys. Basically, being able to say between the Thruster and Rampage, these guys can charge 5 is going to be kind of insane. So, yeah, I think... Oh, and it gives you a reroll, too, which, I mean, that's also fantastic. So, yeah, let's go ahead and add that on there, too, because I think that's pretty much necessary for a list like this. And we'll go ahead and save that. And that's putting us up to 182 points. So we actually still have a lot of points to play with. So it might sound like a lot of points, but I'm actually thinking of using the extra command die every round here. We only have Tactician 2 in this list, meaning we're only rolling 4 command dice, and we're going to be wanting to get those special orders. I mean, we're running a good amount of special order things. So I think having that one extra die is going to be really, really nice for us. And yeah, I think that's going to be useful. Since we still have a whole 10 points to play with, I'm actually thinking I'm going to throw a second grapple shot in here. That way I can have Atriox equipped with both a grapple shot and a thruster, really, really upping his movement potential in a turn. I think that's going to be really, really good for him. That does leave us with only 5 points remaining to play with, and from there we have a few options. I was thinking about putting some ranged weapons on some of these guys, even the Disruptor Pistol, though. I'm not sure how I feel about it, because Rapid Fire on 6-ups just doesn't feel all that great. Even the 5-ups that Atriox would have isn't amazing, but I feel like it could be useful to have one of them just in case for those scenarios where you need to be able to drop oddballs and things like that, and maybe you can't quite get into melee, but you can get into range 3. That's not going to be the case too often between the thruster packs and the fact that they sprint 3, but I think it might have some edge use cases where we prefer to use the disruptor. So I think we're going to go ahead and put that on there, and that leaves us with only 2 points to play with, so we got to make some choices now. So for 2 points, our available options are the drop wall, the overshield, and the single extra command die and the extra D8. Now, alternatively, we could drop Alliance, because like I said, I really don't see myself needing it too much in this list. We could drop Alliance, and we could instead get the 2 times extra use command dice, or single use command dice, and that's not bad either. That's definitely a reasonable option here. But yeah, I'm still really not sure how I feel about that one. And I mean, other options I guess would include like grenades, quantum translocator, but I don't think we really want one of those. It could be kind of fun, but I don't think it's super necessary for this list. So I don't know. I really don't know what I want to do with these last 2 points. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking we'll just take the extra D8, the extra command die, and we'll just kind of roll with those. And that rounds us out to exactly 200 points. Also realized near the end there that that extra 2 points I was playing with totally could be the difference between the Dynamo Grenade and the Spike Grenade one. So, like I said, if you do have access to 2 Spike Grenade brutes, definitely that's a very reasonable upgrade you can make for this list as well. But yeah, I am pretty happy with how this turned out. I haven't gotten enough experience with the brutes to know how this is actually going to play on the table, but I'm definitely curious to try it out myself. So we have Atriox, the War Master here, leading the charge for us, coming in with his, what is that, 86 points? Yeah, he's pretty beefy. Then we also have 2 Berserkers here, one of them with the Dynamo Grenade, one of them with the Spike Grenade, and then as we talked about, there's definitely an argument to have 2 Spike Grenades here. And then we got the extra weapons. We have a concussion rifle that's probably going on Atriox most of the time. And then a disruptor pistol. That can go on either of them. It's just kind of to give us that Hail Mary option of, oh, we really need to drop your objective and I don't think we're taking you down in melee. So we're just going to use the disruptor to try and do it. And then for extra items here, we have 2 grapple shots, 2 thruster packs. We're all about movement on these guys. We want them getting into melee as fast as humanly possible, just tearing things apart if they can. So yeah, I think they're going to be quite effective at that with those extra movement items there. And then going into special things here, we have an extra command die every round, giving us 5 command dice every round to play with. We have an extra command die a single round, so one turn we're going to get 6 of them. And then we got the extra D8 single use there. So Yeah, that's just kind of there for, oh, we really need to finish off this thing, and we had 1 point left in the list. Let's be real, that's the real reason why it's here. And then we go into special orders where we're bringing a good amount of them. Alliance, which I don't know if we're going to be using all that much, but it's there. It was only 2 points. Defiance, which I do think we're going to be using a lot. Turns out Pin is really common in this game, so being able to just kind of ignore it feels really, really good. And then Rampage. Rampage is also going to be really, really nice, just being able to get these brutes into melee a little bit more consistently, a little bit just kind of scarier if our opponent starts putting wounds on them. Definitely gives us kind of a nice return on if we started taking wounds, which is really, really bad usually for melee things. So yeah, definitely a fan of that. But yeah, that is going to be our Atriox list here. Definitely let me know what you guys think about the list down below. Very curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Are the things that I should definitely be running in here for any of you more experienced banished players than I am, that I just haven't included? Very, very curious to hear what you guys think. But that is going to do it for my thoughts on this list. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this list building video. If you did, please do drop a like down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Helps me out a bunch. Lets me know you guys are enjoying the things we're throwing out here. We do a bunch of other Flashpoint and other Wargaming content. So if you're a fan of any of that sort of thing, feel free to jump on in. But that's going to do it for this one. So until next time, have a great day, everybody. Peace.